Welcome to Channel 18 News. I'm Jim Rogers. Special Crimes Unit conducted a traffic stop in the 100 block of Martin Luther King Boulevard at 1:30 p.m. Thursday. Consent to search the vehicle revealed a clear plastic bag containing a crystal-like substance believed to be methamphetamine under the center console cup holders. Officers also located a black set of digital scales in the vehicle. 2 women were arrested. Both were charged with possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram in a drug-free zone. Both are in Hopkins County Jail being held on $25,000 in bonds. Laura Jamie Light, age 39, of Winsboro, was stopped for no license plate on the front of a Texas registered motor vehicle she was driving. She was driving the vehicle without permission. The DPS trooper found that not only was she driving the vehicle without permission, but she was also wanted in Wood County for burglary of a habitation and for criminal trespass. Light was charged with unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, a state jail felony, for burglary of a habitation, a felony, and criminal trespass. She's in Hopkins County Jail on $60,000 in bonds. It's hard to dispel a rumor about something that has not happened, according to Craig Johnson, Silver Springs City Council Place 1. His comment was made in response to questions asked by KSST News regarding social media posts claiming a number of firefighters would lose their job as a result of an agreement between the City of Silver Springs and Hopkins County Commissioners. However, according to Johnson, Councilman Clay Walker, Judge Robert Newsom, City Manager Mark Maxwell, and Finance Director Peter Karsten, no agreement has been made, and the city and county have only begun discussions regarding how the two entities can work together, as City Council Place 2 member Clay Walker said, produce efficiencies that would benefit both entities. Johnson pointed out that 18 months ago, the city and county made a deal to allow the justices of peace to serve the city as municipal judges. Johnson said this has worked well for both entities. He called the judges, B.J. Tier and Brad Cummings, very qualified and responsible to both the county voters and the public in their capacities. Johnson said the city, working with the county, has been a priority for him, and he anticipates more action in the future. Walker noted that the county has a tax levy of 62 cents per $100 valuation, and the city has a 44-cent tax levy. He said he's looking for ways for the city and county to work together in building and maintaining infrastructure as well as public services. He sees this as a work in progress. During the October City Council meeting, both Johnson and Walker asked City Manager Mark Maxwell to begin discussions with County Judge Robert Newsom regarding ways in which the county and city can work together. The next day, Maxwell and Newsom met for a few minutes to explore avenues of future dialogue. County Judge Robert Newsom told KSST News Friday morning that he and the city manager did meet October the 11th for a few minutes. However, he noted it was and is the only meeting that they've held. Newsom said there are those saying that they met last week, but he was in Israel last week until Friday, and when he returned on Friday, that day was spent with attorneys and commissioners in preparation for litigation against the opioid industry and 2 doctors no longer in practice. Newsom said he's eager for county commissioners and city council to meet together. However, he stated that it will be a long process to develop any future work that can be shared. Both Maxwell and Newsom stated Friday that absolutely nothing has been decided. On social media, some are saying that firemen will lose jobs. One has said as many as 14 or more will lose jobs based on the rumor that the city and county would combine their fire departments. According to Maxwell, recently one fireman resigned, but another has been hired in his place. Maxwell stated the city fire department has increased in number of employees and would not change. Some on social media have also said that changes in the fire department would be on the agenda for the November City Council meeting. Maxwell noted that the only fire department-related agenda item would be the appointment of the police chief, Jay Sanders, as the department head for the newly created Department of Public Safety. The position will be an administrator for budgets and so forth of the fire and police departments. Regarding the fire department, Johnson said that he has a great respect for firemen due to the fact that they are good planners and industrious. He said our city and county need more employees like that. having a good firefighter is like having a good insurance policy. City Finance Director Peter Karsten said the city has started the process of updating its comprehensive plan, a review of all things that make Sulphur Springs what it is. He said if done correctly, by the end, the community will have a blueprint on how to progress and improve on all fronts. For both the city and county, streets and roads seem to be more on the front burner. Friday morning, KSST Channel 18 News sat down with City Manager Mark Maxwell and City Finance Director Peter Karsten to discuss the rumors that all entities involved claim to be false.
Honestly, it's astounding, the level of the disinformation that's out there. I came in this morning and this was on my printer. It was a post from somebody who thinks that, well, he's got some numbers right. The city's fire budget is $1.9 million, and the county budget is, well, he's got $400,000, isn't it? 700, 800,000.
Yeah, by the time he adds the part to give the volunteer about 800, about 750 or 770.
And he says he thinks the city's proposing the county to run the whole thing for $1 million. I don't know what universe that's possible in. And how they think there's any numbers being thrown around. I mean, in truth, this is where we are. The city and the county have agreed that we should talk about something. Ways that we can save money. And that's all that's happened. And so if we're going to do that, there's a big process that's out in front of us. And I would guess it would take a year, 2, maybe more. I don't know. But we haven't even begun the process. But people are just really going crazy out there. It's extreme.
The conversation that you and Judge Newsom had on October the 11th, I believe was the date of it, I followed a city council meeting, and in that council meeting, what took place?
So a couple of council members said that they would like the city manager to approach the county and see if there's some interest in ways that we could work together to save money. That was the gist of it. And so the very next morning, I went over and asked the judge, and he said, yeah, there'd be some interest, and we should do that. And I said, well, great. You'll be hearing from Peter. He's the guy most intimately involved in our budget. And that's where we left it. 2 minutes. You know, and that's the truth of where we actually are.
Well, the judge verified that in a conversation with him earlier today.
Yeah.
What steps do you perceive the city and county taking?
Well, typically in any decision-making process, you gather data, you analyze it, you compare notes, you evaluate our alternatives, you propose a decision, and then you debate the decision. We haven't even done step 1 yet. We're not even gathering data yet. You know, so all of that is ahead of us. I expect to see all of that. I expect to see public meetings of the city council and the commissioner's court combined. I expect lots of discussion with any proposed affected departments involved in the discussions. This is too important to get wrong.
In reality, is it possible for the city and county to merge departments like that?
I don't know. We're very different organizations. And I don't know that it's possible. Or let me say, I don't know that it's feasible, because we are very different. And so if for example, we're talking about fire department, because that seems to be what most of the discussion is about out there, one way that could happen is a fire district, where we combine all of our efforts into one fire district, and the district is the entity that provides the firefighting services. Do we do that? I don't know. I have no idea.
Do you perceive that this question, this rumor, is stemming from changes the city has made in the management of the fire department?
I really think it's precipitated by fear. I think, you know, you've done the childhood game where you whisper a secret in one person's ear and you go around. By the time you get to the other end, it's something totally different. Well, Facebook is that on steroids. And you get the slightest tinge of anything fearful, and by the end of the circle, you've got Armageddon, which is the phase that Facebook is at right now. Oh my God, look at what they're doing. They're idiots. They're going to decimate the fire department, and it's all nonsense.
the numbers that they've bandied about, 14, 16 employees being fired, that would simply debilitate the fire department, would it not?
It would be foolish. I can't imagine how this city or any city would even entertain such a notion. You know, and the truth is, we've gone from 22 employees that respond to fire rescue calls to now 28 with the county responding. Is that the right number? Is it 30? Is it 26? 32? I don't know. We should ask the question.
As it relates to management of the fire department, is everything now in place under the new management system that council is approving?
No, we haven't appointed Jay yet to be the director of the the Public Safety Department. And that'll happen Tuesday night. But that's the only thing that's on the agenda Tuesday night related to any police or fire function whatsoever.
Peter, with comprehensive plan development just underway now, do you perceive some of this discussion taking place?
Absolutely, absolutely. We started this process in my department a year ago, knowing that we were going to be doing the comprehensive plan. For us is to identify every element that makes life worth living in the city of Sulphur Springs and Hopkins County, and we're integrated together. We're the same community. There's a physical line there. So when we look at how we provide services, how we make our community better, how we enhance community life, that all goes back to basic services. And the questions we ask is, 20 years from now, where should fire stations be? That's one of the things you ask. And you have to. And then what does that look like? What does it look like when Hunt County, which is maybe 10, 15 years ahead of us, is now up to 80, almost 90,000 people? And you look 20 years from now when Hopkins County, which has gained over 2,300 new houses in the last 25 years, a complete change in trend, will increasingly have very beautiful neighborhoods throughout the county. It's a beautiful county. Oak trees are magnificent. You don't get that in Dallas. My generation's retired. That means they need fire services, professional fire services, and all that need will grow. A comprehensive plan looks at all that and says, all right, what does that look like? Is how we're doing that today going to take care of that efficiently for the taxpayer, knowing that there's not a lot of tax money available? And so therefore, that's what we're doing. So I'm asking questions, have been for years. You know, the finance guy tends to stir things up a little bit. Councilmen respond to that. Okay, it's our job as a council to address those long-term pictures. And so that's some of the process we're going, that's asking these questions. And it's a healthy process.
You mentioned fire. Obviously, law enforcement's included in this, but one of the huge questions that people have living here in Hopkins County and in the city of Sulphur Springs has to do with roads and streets.
Absolutely.
Is this also on the agenda of talking?
It has to be, but it can't just be where we're talking to each other. We also have to talk to the state of Texas. The reason we are half funded on streets, let's just go to the elephant in the room. Most of the developed world uses gasoline tax to pay for road construction and maintenance. Texas is one of the only places that doesn't. And what happens is that you totally rely on property tax, and that creates a distortion. You're trying to pay 400 or 500 miles of roads in the county with property tax. You end up with, you get what you pay for. And through those taxes, that's what you get. So it's on that. If we talk to the county and county talks to us, we're still going to come to the conclusion we're half funded. What are we all going to raise property tax another cent? Another whole dollar? No. We have to talk to the state of Texas. All the counties and all the cities have to talk to the state of Texas and says enough's enough. We need some of that gasoline tax. If you guys are serious about taking relief to property tax, this is all about the gasoline tax. How many folks around here go fill up with the gas and just drive on county and city roads with that gas tank? Think about that every time you do, and then think about the state of Texas not giving you some of that tax money to build those roads. That's the big argument here. then everything else follows. Then everything else follows.
So what I'm hearing you saying is that this is going to be a long-term process in trying to accomplish.
The comprehensive plan, one of the purposes is to lay out the questions, suggest possible solutions, but create a process that can evolve through those problems as those problems develop, to identify the trends. And we've already identified a good number of trends that need to be addressed.
When you talk about identifying trends and asking questions, sometimes those questions that are asked and the answers that are given are never workable and feasible. Do you think some of what is taking place now is someone who's latched onto an idea that is not workable or feasible?
That happens all the time. Look at the U.S. government. Look at the state government. That is part of our frustration as citizens, is there's a lot of unworkable ideas that get funded. That's at the start of the process. You need to talk it through. What you don't want to do is keep doing something that is 50% workable and keep throwing money at it. Now, we're paid as staff, people run for commissioning office and as commissioners, as city council, to work through these problems. So we're going to ask all the questions. It stirs it up a little bit, but if you hear something from one person, it is a healthy thing to throw ideas out. Doggone it, that's how we progress in life. That's how things get invented. That's how things get invented.
Regarding the streets?
Yeah, so specifically, one idea on streets is both the city and the county buy quite a lot of street material. And one of the things we ought to look at is whether or not we could use our soon-to-be acquired 5,000 acres and the double-track rail spur that goes into that as a way to combine our purchases, bring it in by rail, and save some money. Is it possible? I don't know. One of the things we'll have to look at.
And you mentioned the 5,000 acres that the city will soon acquire. That raises a whole nother series of questions and comments that, when advancement is being made and changes are having to take place, some people just don't look at the whole picture. They have a narrow view. Is that true?
It's more often than not, yeah. And we tend to focus on the things that we fear.
Thanks for watching Channel 18 News. Have a great evening.
Yeah, so we're buying a $437,000 fire truck. We recently had a vacancy in the fire department, and we filled it. If we were wanting to do the kind of things that they're talking about there, would we be filling vacant positions and would we be buying new fire trucks?